Hi there and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Nedra and I'm a chemist as well as a health coach. I like to break down scientific information that relate to your physical as well as your mental health and well-being. I like to do that through molecules. Molecules are simply small chemical compounds that constitute or that resembles building blocks in everything around us, basically in the environment, in the food we eat, in our physical biology, and as well as in the products that we use. The topic of today is to extract the molecules that are found in Bryan Johnson's diet. So if you don't know who Bryan Johnson is, I highly recommend you check it out if you're interested in your own health and wellness journey, as well as what longevity studies and research is being done out there. I can put some links down below, of course, but what I'm interested in targeting today in this video is the three main meals, as well as the one drink that Bryan Johnson consumes on a day-to-day basis so that he can reverse his biological age and become 18 again, noting that he is in his 60s. So I will not get into the opinions of what Bryan Johnson is doing, what kind of things are relatable to us. What I'm interested in is how can we take that diet and all of those protocols that he's published online and on his social media so that we can actually use them or use few simple tips from them on our day-to-day basis. And how I like to do that is, again, I like to do it through molecules. So I like to break things down. I like to break the ingredient list. I like to look at what exactly is he taking on a day-to-day basis in terms of food. I will not get into supplements in this video. I think that will be a topic on its own, probably a part 2 for this video. The first thing Bryan eats or drinks within his 6 to 8 hours of eating period, he's doing intermittent fasting. If you're not familiar with intermittent fasting, it's that you have only specific hours to eat and then the rest you're fasting, you're only drinking water. So he does a 6 to 8 hour window of fasting, which is great. So what he would eat during this hour, here I'm looking at my computer just so that I have my notes, I'm not forgetting anything. The first thing he starts his day with is a green drink. It's not a smoothie, it's a green drink that he calls the Green Giant drink. It has the following list of ingredients. I'm gonna read. One is spermidine and chlorella powder. Second is an amino acid complex, such as branched chain amino acids and essential amino acids. Basically, I'll go through those in a bit. Third is creatine. Fourth is collagen peptides. Then fifth is cocoa flavonols. So these are just polyphenols from cocoa beans. And he adds some cinnamon, and I think that's about it. So these are the main ingredients in his Green Giant drink. So what's so special about these 5 to 6 ingredients that he adds into his green drinks, and that's the first thing that he consumes on a day-to-day basis? Well, let's take a look. Spermidine is a polyamine. It's found in our bodies and it's involved with metabolism, but it's actually, what's more important about it is that it's linked to triggering autophagy. Chlorella powder is a green alga and it's full of nutrients. It has a lot of vitamins, a lot of minerals, a lot of protein as well, and chlorophyll. So it's really, really good for detoxifying the body, for improving the immune function, and it's just a nutrient-dense powder. I personally also take chlorella. Sometimes I just take a spoon and I mix it with some water. The second component of his Green Giant drink is the amino complex. It's from a specific company, actually from Thorne, and it's full of branched chain amino acids and essential amino acids. So basically it's just an amino acid mixture. So again, just a note, Bryan Johnson is a vegan person. He does not eat any animal products, no meat. It's by choice, not by the nature of his lifestyle or the nature of his protocols. But branched chain amino acids are quite essential for vegans because they're not present in the proteins that come from plants. That's why you need to supplement with them. So these are like valine, leucine, isoleucine, and essential amino acids as well are the amino acids that the body cannot produce and that we need to take from food. Essential amino acids are methionine, phenylalanine, tryptophan, threonine, histidine, and lysine. I have to apologize about my pronunciation for all the chemicals. I study chemistry in French and I did my research in English, so it's kind of like a mixture, just kind of like side note so that you understand. Of course, amino acids are quite essential to different functions within the body, so we need to get them from different sources. The third item that he has on his list for the Green Giant drink is creatine. Creatine is as well a pseudo amino acid. Actually, it's not really amino acid, it's a pseudo amino acid, and it improves exercise performance, allows you to work out longer, gives you more endurance, but also helps the muscle grow over time. So collagen peptides make sense. Taking hydrolyzed collagen in the form of peptides I think is great for most people, especially if you need to supplement a little bit with protein. We have a lot of supplements out there in terms of collagen, and we need it for the skin, we need it for our joints. Cocoa flavonols, they simply have a lot of polyphenols. We know polyphenols, they have high antioxidant effects. They really protect the body from free radical damage. They really help with metabolism. They do quite a lot of interesting things. After the first drink that he has in the morning, which is his green drink containing a lot of greens, a lot of polyphenols, a lot of super nutrients that help him start his day, the first real meal that Bryan Johnson starts with is what he calls his super veggie meal. Let's hear the list of ingredients that it has because it's quite packed. We have some cooked black lentils, we have some broccoli, some cauliflower, some shiitake mushrooms, garlic, ginger, as well as his seasoning. It consists of lime, olive oil, hemp seeds, dark chocolate, cumin, and apple cider vinegar. So this is another nutrient-dense meal. I was wondering, why did he exactly choose this combination? And then I kind of dragged at least one main active ingredient from this list. So black lentils. Black lentils, again, he's vegan, so he needs some protein from some sort. I forgot to mention that sometimes he says he adds some pea protein scoops to either his pudding that we will look at later, or just like drink it throughout the day to maintain his protein intake for the day. But overall, black lentils are really, really beneficial in terms of giving him proteins, but also from a nutritional point of view, they're full of nutrients and polyphenols and also minerals and vitamins. He cooks the lentils for quite a while, and then he blends everything, and I would assume that that's mostly just to, gelatinize the starch, to kind of increase your protein digestibility, because it's quite harsh. Legumes are quite harsh on the digestive system, and mostly to also inactivate some of these anti-nutrients that we find in lentils, chickpeas, and seeds, and also nuts. So black lentils is his base for this super veggie. That's for protein and for some minerals and vitamins, as well as polyphenols. Now the second on the list are broccoli and cauliflower, and for me this does not come as a surprise, noting that broccoli and cauliflower are rich in sulforaphane. Well, they're rich in the actual precursor to sulforaphane. Usually broccoli and cauliflower, they also come with the enzyme that is able to transform glucoalphanine into sulforaphane, so that either is by chewing or by cooking, and that's how it's activated. Also, the gut microbiome helps in transforming this reaction so that you can get the active form, which is sulforaphane. So sulforaphane, if you haven't heard of it and what does it do, it's actually a sulfur-rich molecule. It's really, really cool. And for me personally, what attracted me the most to it is its anti-cancer property. But overall, there's quite a lot of research out there in terms of what is sulforaphane doing exactly to the body. But on top of my head, the ones that I pick and that are the most important are anti-cancer as well as anti-diabetic. So no wonder broccoli and cauliflower would be in his fighting free radicals, fighting inflammation, maintaining a good healthy level of cells, avoiding mutations, using sulforaphane. The other ingredient that's also quite important, and that's more of an immunomodulating type of molecule. Immunomodulating is something that will help you increase your immune cell production, and that's from the shiitake mushrooms. So shiitake mushrooms, or any types of mushrooms, I think he mentions another type, but I only wrote shiitake mushrooms. The main active ingredients in them is called lenthanins, and lenthanins are really also awesome molecules. They're massive immune modulators. They boost the production of white blood cells, they protect against oxidative damage, and overall mushrooms intake is highly, highly beneficial, besides the fact that they're full of also a whole range of minerals, vitamins, essential oils, and polyphenols. Garlic and ginger. Garlic and ginger, of course, for garlic mostly it's the active ingredient, that's allicin. Allicin is really, really strong antiviral, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer. Garlic is in general a superfood. picking it and putting it in your ingredients every single day, it improves so many things. It improves your blood sugar, it improves your blood pressure. It's really highly beneficial antioxidant. And for ginger as well, ginger is high in gingerol, which is the active ingredient, helps with blood sugar, helps with heart disease, weight loss, if you have gastrointestinal problems as well, or some motility problems with your GI tract, ginger is amazing. The other things I will not really touch upon, but again, for seasoning, he uses lime, so vitamin C, some good antioxidants, some olive oil, polyphenols, and some good healthy fats, as well as the hemp seeds, the dark chocolate for magnesium, as well as the other polyphenols that come with it. Cumin is really important, and I'll get to it in the second meal. The second meal of the day, which he eats once he is at work, and this is what he says, and this is kind of like his famous nutty pudding that looks really, really cool. I'll put it. This is something I personally can also incorporate in my own diet for breakfast. So it's something that's quite easy. The ingredient list consists of macadamia milk, ground macadamia nuts, some ground walnuts, some chia seeds, some ground flax seeds, Brazilian nuts, dark chocolate, sunflower lecithin, cinnamon, berries, cherries, and pomegranate juice. So I'll go through the main ingredients here just to see what kind of molecules are we noticing, what is the trend going on with this meal. So the choice of nuts to start with. Macadamia nuts, so he's using macadamia milk as well as ground macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts are also really low in carbs and really low in sugar and high in vitamins and minerals and fat and protein. So if you had to choose a type of nut that you eat consistently on a day-to-day basis, I would choose macadamia nut because of their profile of carbohydrate, protein, and fat that's quite balanced towards more of like a high fat, high protein, low carb type of diet. So that's for macadamia. Ground walnuts as well are amazing. I think walnuts in general are very, very nutritional types of nuts. Chia seeds and flax seeds for all the good healthy fats, as well as the intake of protein. Again, he's vegan, so he needs to add different sources of plant-based protein, so chia seeds and flax seeds, besides the different types of minerals and vitamins that they bring along, as well as the lignans that we can find as well in flax seeds. Brazilian nuts, I would say, mostly for selenium, although now he has removed it already from his diet because he's taking a selenium supplement. And the other things are mostly berries and cherries. Berries and cherries are quite rich in polyphenols. The darker the fruit, the more rich it is in antioxidants, and they're also really low in the glycemic index, so they will not, despite the fact that they're fruits and despite the fact that they're sweet, they will not spike your blood sugar. They will keep everything stable. And pomegranate juice, actually I was not surprised. I know that pomegranate is such a super awesome food. I think if there is even like a more way of describing it, it has so many bioactive compounds. It's impressive, and huge varieties of health benefits. So that can be antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, prevents and treats chronic diseases. And the main components, like the main molecules that I can recall, are, for example, like gallic acid, which you can also find in different types of fruits like the berries and the cherries that we mentioned, ellagic acid, and pinicalagine. He tops it off with the cherries and the dark chocolate. The third meal of the day, which is the last meal that he would eat, which is his early dinner, I would assume, because remember he has a 6 to 8 hour window of fasting. That would be his kind of like, I think here he does not really have a strict type of meal. He has more of a range of different types of dinners he would go for. For example, he put some really good examples actually on his Blueprint Protocol website. I only picked up 2 examples that resonate with me personally and with my lifestyle and things that I can easily also make. The first one is a Buddha ball. I love Buddha balls. I think they're really simple and they're very easy. I mean, the only thing that stands between you and a good Buddha ball is the ingredients that you have in your fridge, or how prepared are you in terms of like meal prep and like buying the right ingredients. But in general, what I noticed that he specifically picks for the different dinners that he's put, like his Buddha ball or this beet poke bowl or different things that you can check down below. I put a link where he has all of his list What I noticed was mostly sweet potato. Sweet potato is mostly rich in beta carotene and phenolic acids, as well as different types of polyphenols like anthocyanins, which is what we find also in berries. That's why I said the richer the color in fruits, the more it is rich in these antioxidant molecules. He also has a lot of asparagus in his recipes. It's really rich in a lot of vitamins, you know, like vitamin A, vitamin B1, B2, vitamin C, vitamin E, magnesium, phosphorus, calcium, iron, so different types of minerals as well. And of course, besides the fact that they're really also rich in flavonoids and amino acids, a little bit of protein here and there. So we have some quercetin as well. We have some tannins, which are polyphenols in another way. He also adds some green onions to his recipes, some mushrooms, red pepper, I've seen it a lot. Kale. Kale is another source of sulforaphane, so the molecule that is anti-cancer. White beans, so he needs the proteins. As well from different vegan sources, from different plant-based sources. The greens that he tops things with, I haven't seen parsley, but I've seen cilantro. Cilantro is really, really good. And dill, lime, and cumin seed. So cumin is the only spice that I kept seeing, and it's been repetitively added to his meals. And I researched what's the main principle in cumin, and it was cuminaldehyde. So cuminaldehyde has several therapeutic benefits, including being an anti-diabetic, anti-cancer, a very neuroprotective spice, as well as anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antifungal. There were so much studies done on cuminaldehyde, and it's fascinating to know about it, that this little seed is so powerful. So that's what he uses for seasoning. And then the other examples are just like his beet poke bowl. It has some beets, radishes, avocado, mango, cilantro, green onions, some microgreens, lime juice. So this is really, really easy to make, as well as coconut amino. I hope you enjoyed this video. If I want to do a small summary or like some take-home messages, all what I would say is that he has seemingly a simple diet, but the ingredients are very, very carefully chosen for his type of lifestyle, for his types of needs, and for his work. He's somebody who works out a lot. He's somebody who's already supplementing with a lot of supplements, which we can get into in another video. And he is mostly targeting an anti-inflammatory diet and more of a longevity-based ingredient diet in general. So if I would take a couple of things to implement in my own diet from all of this, I would say I would definitely try to incorporate chlorella, adding 1 spoon every day into a small glass of water and drinking it. I already get all of my benefits from having that. It has a lot of minerals, a lot of vitamins. It's really good for health. I wouldn't try to consume it every day, but mostly on the days where I fail or I don't have the time to actually eat some greens, like a good kale salad or some arugula or anything of the sort. Other things I would do is to add more cocoa powder. So cocoa, I honestly don't know how to pronounce it, but cacao powder, cacao beans are a super food. They're being more and more researched, and people are kind of like tending more to add them to their diet. So what I would do, if I'm craving a coffee, I would add a scoop of cacao powder with a little bit of hot water and some cinnamon, maybe a dash of honey, maybe not, and then call it a day. I think that's also a great way to incorporate it. In terms of food, I think I concur with everything he's eating, you know, like in terms of vegetables, like sweet potatoes, like mangoes, avocados, cilantros, onions, garlic, ginger, and the seasoning as well, olive oil. Olive oil is really important. That's more or less a summary of what I would do. His diet is rich in vitamins and minerals and amino acids, but also in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory ingredients that help him and support his longevity goals. So it's impressive. Actually, I think it's inspiring to see and something to look forward to, and to always sit down and reiterate, what can I do better this week? How can I adjust to 2 or 3 ingredients? Maybe this week I will add more cumin to my meals instead of just putting salt and pepper. Maybe I try this cumin and see how it goes, if I like the taste of it, if I can incorporate it. Maybe I'll get into the habit of actually sprinkling some cilantro and dill on my dishes. If I make an omelette, I'll add that. So there are a few simple things that we can take. I think having protocols like that is gonna make our lives more hard than easy. And all I'm trying to do with this video is just to kind of demystify what's behind all of this. It's simply the building blocks of life. What are we made of eventually? We're made of a lot of different small amino acids. We're made of proteins. I hope you enjoyed my first video, and stay tuned for a second part where we will talk about the different supplements that Bryan Johnson need, and would a normal human being, a normal adult, need any of these at all on their day-to-day basis.